Dogs have a way of sensing things we can't. But what happens when they suddenly react to something invisible? These owners have shared eerie stories of their pets barking, growling, or even running away from something unseen. Could these be spirits? But why do they target animals? Hang on, because what these videos reveal might shock you to your core. A dog could be seen walking through the kitchen in the CCTV camera when, out of nowhere, a drawer slide opened by itself. The dog barked, sensing something was there. The owner came in, shut the drawer, and walked away. But it didn't stay closed. Moments later, it opened again, and this time, a cabinet door creaked open too. The animal even tried to inform its owner about the paranormal activity, but he just didn't notice. He later reviewed the footage and got to know what his dog was trying to tell him. Unseen force. This video is getting viral across the internet, and here is why. A surveillance camera recorded a dog walking along the road, but the strange part, when it suddenly stopped near a car, it stared at the tire and then quickly backed away as if it had seen something. Moments later, the dog reacted in a strange defensive way. It even tried to move, but couldn't, as if something had taken hold of it, which didn't let it move. Well, we all know that dogs can sense what we can't, so probably it was one of those moments. Street Phantom. In 2022, a CCTV video surfaced online showing a dog standing at the end of a quiet street. The dog seemed focused on one spot, staring as if it sensed something unseen. Then, all of a sudden, the dog panicked and ran away. In the beginning, there was nothing, just an empty street. But seconds later, a dark humanoid figure appeared, moving toward the camera. No explanation was needed. It was a ghost, and the dog was able to see it far from the street and decided to move away. Cursed hound.
Can you understand me?
Two friends ordered a dog from the dark web, expecting something rare, but when it arrived, they knew something was wrong. Its eyes were unsettling, and the way it stared at them felt unnatural. One of them spoke, and to their horror, the dog seemed to understand. Then, in a voice that wasn't human, it whispered a scary thing that it wanted his skin. Fear took over. The dog became restless, moving aggressively in the cage. One friend panicked and ran to the other, realizing this creature wasn't safe. They knew they had to get rid of it before it got out on its own.
This thing is so weird.
Ghost feeding. You've probably seen many ghost videos, but this one was different. A CCTV camera captured two dogs eating from the ground, which is completely normal, right? But when people looked closely, they saw something unbelievable. A dark figure standing right beside them. It wasn't just standing there, but it was feeding them, the way the dogs calmly ate. Completely unbothered dogs made it clear for everyone this spirit wasn't a threat. So, is it true that not all ghosts are bad? Let me know if you have any opinion. Creepy visitor. In 2025, a security camera captured an unusual event. A dog approached the front door, staring directly into the camera. It looked normal at first, but its eyes told a different story. There was something unnatural in its stare, almost as if it was controlled by something else. Strangely, another case surfaced. A dog owner recorded his pet acting the same way frozen, eyes behaving unnaturally. Two different dogs, same disturbing gaze. Maybe both were under the grip of the same dark force. Vanishing legs. A CCTV camera at a home recorded the pet dog staring outside. In the beginning, it seemed normal, but then a pair of legs appeared, walking toward the house. The terrifying part? There was nobody attached. The legs moved forward, silent and creepy, until they reached the side of the house, and then they vanished as if they had never existed. The dog saw it clearly and barked, trying to warn homeowners. But no one else was there, just the camera and the dog, both witnessing something that cannot be explained. Ghostly companion. This video captures a little girl walking while a shadowy figure, resembling a dog, follows closely behind. Some believe it could be the ghost of her deceased pet. The eerie shape emerges from the plants, staying right by her side. At one point, she glances back, almost as if she knows it's there. Yet the other children around her remain unaware, entering the house without hesitation. The unsettling part, the figure vanishes the moment she steps inside, a loyal spirit still watching over her, just not meant for everyone to see. Invisible force. Animals do have the ability to see things humans can't, but this time, it didn't see it coming. A home security camera recorded a dog sitting peacefully inside the house. Everything was normal until it wasn't. Out of nowhere, an unseen force pushed the dog across the floor. It didn't just move. It slid as if something invisible had pushed it. The dog looked around, startled and confused. It had no idea what just happened. Some believed it was a ghost, while others thought it was something even stranger. After watching the footage, one thing was clear. No one in that house would feel alone again. Unseen presence. A homeowner noticed his dog acting strangely, so he started recording. But this wasn't just curiosity. The dog was terrified. Its eyes stayed locked on one side of the room. Then it barked. Not in fear, but as if warning about something unseen. It kept glancing at its owner, almost questioning why he couldn't see it. Some believe he was seeing a spirit. Others think a dark energy lingered in the house. What are your thoughts about it? Let me know in the comments below. Shapeshifter. Late one night in Punjab, India, a local was driving home along a deserted road near a rural area. Up ahead, he noticed a boy walking alone. It seemed normal at first, until the boy suddenly changed. Right before his eyes, the figure shifted into a dog and crossed the road. Fear took over as the driver sped away, not daring to look back. The sight was so terrifying that he vowed never to use that road again, not even during the day. To this day, he wonders if it was real, or if he had witnessed something beyond explanation. Possessed dog. One of the dogs wasn't acting normally. Its eyes glowed a weird orange, and its movements felt off. Something about its behavior was unsettling. The way it stared at the other dog scared its owner. It didn't seem like the same animal anymore. If something had taken over, keeping it around might be a risk not just for the other dog, but for him as well. Whatever was happening, one thing was clear. This wasn't just an ordinary pet anymore. Haunting presence. Not every bark is just a bark. Sometimes it's a warning. On November 7th, 2024 in Mexico, security footage captured dogs acting strangely. Their eyes stayed locked on the road. Then, the camera caught it. A figure moved in the distance, heading to the other side of the road. Its movements were off. It didn't walk like a person. Some believed it was La Llorona, the ghostly woman known for wandering at night. Others thought it was the Lady in White, a spirit tied to tragic pasts. After that night, no one wanted to walk that road again. Frozen dogs. Some things in nature don't feel natural at all. This hiker was deep in the woods when he spotted 3 dogs standing together in a strange, unnatural way. They didn't move, their eyes empty, frozen in time, as if they weren't real. It felt like a glitch in the Matrix, something he couldn't explain. He stared at them, unsure of what to do. Just as he turned to leave, he saw them again running, as if nothing had happened. They were probably seeing something that made them go in a trance, and soon as it left, they were back to normal. While walking around the neighborhood, a local spotted a coyote. That was already strange. Why was a wild animal in the city? But things got even weirder. The coyote wasn't alone. It was following a small, creepy-looking humanoid. The tiny creature moved in an odd way and quickly hid behind a trash bin. As the coyote passed, the figure jumped to the other side and slipped away. The video of this bizarre moment went viral. Those who watched claimed it wasn't a cryptid creature. Some even believed it looked like an alien species. To this day, no one knows where it came from or where it vanished. Maybe we should all start paying more attention to what's around us. Chasing shadow. One night, a CCTV camera captured something creepy. A cat was seen running wildly, as if it had sensed trouble. At first, it seemed strange, but then the footage revealed why. It wasn't alone. A dark shadow followed closely behind. Some believed it was an evil spirit chasing the cat for a sinister reason. The cat had sensed it before anyone could see it, and that was reason enough to run. If even a cat wanted to escape from it, maybe humans should be careful too. Floating figure. Late one night, a CCTV camera captured a scary sight on a quiet street. A shadowy figure was seen moving silently, as if it didn't belong to this world. Local dogs stood nearby, barking furiously, clearly frightened by its presence. But the figure didn't react. It simply flew across the road, heading toward the other side before vanishing into the darkness. When the footage spread, people were left uneasy. Some believed it was just a camera angle, which made it look odd, but others were convinced it was a spirit, and the dogs knew it before anyone else did. Nightmare hound. You might have seen a nightmare, but this one was in real life, and surely beyond all. A doorbell camera recorded a massive creature standing in front of the house. It looked like a dog, but not a normal one, guys. It was unnaturally large, with sharp claws and a monstrous body that didn't belong to any known breed. For a moment, it seemed like it wanted to enter. The door was locked, but with its strength, that wouldn't have mattered. Yet, it did nothing. It just stood there, watching, waiting. Whatever it was, one thing was certain: the homeowner needed to leave that house immediately. Phantom Rider. Security cameras are meant for safety, not for capturing a sight like this. One homeowner's camera recorded something creepy. A white, smoke-like figure appears right in front of the lens. In the start, it seemed like anything, but on closer look, the shape became clear of a horse and its rider. The sight alone was very scary, but what made it even stranger was the local legend. Stories had long told of a ghostly rider in Fredericksburg, a soldier from the Civil War who never truly left. Now, with this footage, those old tales weren't just rumors anymore. Now the reality was hitting really hard now. Balcony creature. While walking through his neighborhood, a local spotted a sight he never expected. Hanging upside down from a balcony was a strange, humanoid figure with large wings wrapped tightly around its body. The house had been abandoned for a while, and now he could see why. It was home to a vampire. The sight alone was enough to remind him of his worst nightmare. Soon this news spread like fire, and people prayed that the neighborhood remained safe from this vampire's curse. Ghostly passage. Creepy sightings don't just happen in woods. They also happen in villages. One night, a CCTV camera captured this unbelievable moment in which a cow stood completely still, staring at something unseen. It looked confused, as if it had seen an unnatural thing. Moments later, a ghostly horse-like figure appeared, moving toward the cow, and then it passed right through it. The cow remained still, as if trying to make sense of what had just happened. Well, animals can sense the negative energy that we can't, but this time we witnessed it together. Strange creatures. This bizarre footage was recorded from someone's backyard camera, which made the internet talk. Well, it showed not one, but many small creatures running alongside the house. But then, a strange thing happened. One creature collided with another, and suddenly a strange wave appeared in front of the camera. The distortion spread, and whatever it was, it even entered the house. The video ended there, leaving everyone thinking about what had just happened. No one could explain it, and those who saw the footage were left with many questions. Whatever those creatures were, they weren't ordinary. Well, if you know anything about it, let us know. Mysterious patterns.
I'm getting closer and closer to what I suddenly realize is sheep.
Moving in weird, round patterns, these sheep shocked everyone who saw the footage. But here's a disappointing truth. Those circling sheep can seem strange and may look as if they are under a spell. Their experts explain that this behavior usually comes from health problems like infections or stress. What looks mysterious is actually a natural reaction to illness. This phenomenon reminds us to explore the science behind animal behavior, turning fear into knowledge and old tales into facts.
If I didn't know better, I would call this a living crop circle.
Eerie crow. A local was getting into his car when he noticed a crow standing in the parking lot. It didn't move, and its head tilted. Something about it felt unnatural. Some experts online suggested the bird was infected or suffering from parasites. Others thought it had been wounded by another animal. Well, it could be something worse. A zombified bird? A bad omen. Whatever the truth, the sight was disturbing, and those who saw it never looked at crows the same way again. Shape-shifting encounter. While walking through the woods, a local spotted something terrifying. From an abandoned building, a strange figure emerged. At first, its face looked like a skull, its movements unnatural, but within seconds, it changed, its form twisting into a wolf-like beast with dark fur and a purplish tint. He had heard the stories of shapeshifters, creatures said to shift shapes. Now, he was seeing it for himself. Fear took over. He turned back and decided to leave the area, hoping the creature wouldn't follow. Dogman encounter. On January 16th, 2024, a strange video popped up online. A local stood in front of the window of an abandoned shed near his house, unaware of what was inside. In the dim light, a large, heavy figure appeared. Its shape was human-like, yet something was off. The witness struggled to make out the details, but one thing was clear. It had a dog-like head. The locals immediately thought of the Dogman, the legendary creature said to be a mix of man and beast. If it truly was real, then standing there was a mistake. Anyone in his place would have run without looking back. Twisted deer. A forest ranger was out on patrol when he accidentally captured a scary thing on camera. A deer suddenly appeared from the bushes, running at full speed before vanishing into the tall grass. But what followed left the ranger frozen in shock as another deer emerged, but this one had a broken neck. Despite its condition, it moved unnaturally. Its weird movements and lifeless stare made it seem possessed or controlled by something unnatural. The ranger didn't wait to find out what it was. He decided to quickly leave the area, taking the disturbing footage with him. Creepy creature. An adventurer went into the woods alone at night. As he walked, he heard strange voices in the distance. Suddenly, a goat's cry echoed through the trees. He thought it was just an animal until he saw it. Emerging from the shadows was a massive, humanoid creature with the skull of a goat. Its towering figure moved unnaturally, and its eyes scanned the area. The adventurer froze in fear, realizing he had just witnessed the Goat Man in real life. Without a second thought, he decided to run as fast as he could, never looking back. Possessed camel. Opening its mouth wide and revealing its demonic red eyes, the camel shocked its owners. They had been hearing strange noises coming from the area where they kept their camel for quite some time. What they initially thought to be an intruder turned out to be their own camel. It seemed as if the camel was under the influence of some otherworldly entity, but fortunately, it all came to an end after a few minutes. Whatever it was, it finally left the animal alone. Black entity. While checking their animals at night, some farmers noticed something black locked onto one of the goats. It wasn't fur or mud, it was something else. They tried pulling it off, but it wouldn't move. The goat struggled, and after much effort, they were finally able to move it. To their shock, it moved on its own, slipping toward the woods. Determined to chase it away, they followed it to the water, striking it as it went into the river. It probably was the chupacabra known for eating the flesh of animals, especially goats.
Dorong aja, dorong. Dorong kepalanya tuh. Udah gigit leher.
Ghost dog. A family has the most sentimental encounter with their dog, and it's all in this video. They recently lost their dog and were devastated by the loss, but one day, when reviewing the security footage, one of them noticed the dog's spirit. Though its form was blurry, almost transparent, they were sure it was their beloved pet visiting them. According to them, the dog would always sit under this bus whenever they were out. I guess dogs, too, have their way of expressing emotions, even in the afterlife. Winged cat. Some sights stay in your mind forever. This was one of them. A local was walking through his neighborhood when he noticed a black cat sitting nearby. At first, it seemed normal, but as he got closer, he froze. The cat had wings, real furry wings attached to its back. He grabbed his phone and started recording. Some believed it was a rare mutation. Others thought it was something supernatural. Whatever the truth, one thing was certain. No one who saw that cat would ever forget it. Skinwalker dog. Some things should only exist in stories, but this one stepped into reality. A local was walking near an old house when he saw a black dog crawl out from underneath. At first, nothing seemed strange, but then it stepped into the light. Its face wasn't normal, its features looked disturbingly human, and its large teeth stuck out unnaturally. The way it moved, it was clear that this wasn't just a dog. It reminded him of creatures from old folklore, the kind people whispered about but never really believed in until they began to record them. Motionless figure. Looking outside his window, the guy never knew he'd be spotting this strange sight, a four-legged creature standing in the middle of the road. It was unnaturally still, as if it wasn't alive. Though the guy called it a mutated dog, I believe it wasn't anything from our world. Its faceless body and eerie structure make it resemble a shapeshifter even more, and it could be in the middle of its shapeshifting process when the guy captured it. Winged creature. A security guard hid on top of a pile of empty coffins, his breath heavy with fear. Below, in the cemetery, something was moving. Though he didn't dare to capture anything, luckily, there was a security camera there. Camera captured it as a dark-skinned humanoid crawling on all fours. It moved in weird little jumps, its motions unnatural. Then, it did something even more terrifying. Wings unfolded from its back. This one move made the guard, as well as the online spectators, believe that it was a demonic entity. Mysterious horned creature. On October 23rd, 2024, a creepy video appeared online. It showed a dark figure creeping in the shadows. Its big horns and glowing eyes scared those who watched. Speculation spread fast. Some were convinced it was a demon, while others dismissed it as something else. But no one could answer the real questions. Where was this filmed? Who recorded it? Some believed the creature was still out there, watching. But one thing was certain, something unsettling had been caught on camera that night. Vanishing fox. A trail camera recorded a fox enjoying a meal left. Everything seemed normal. Then, a dark shadow swept across the screen. In an instant, the fox was gone. No sound, no struggle, just an empty space where it had been. It might be a predator, moving too fast for the camera to catch. The way it vanished didn't feel natural. Whatever took the fox, it left nothing behind. Not even a trace. A normal night in the woods had just turned into something unexplainable. Figure in white. Late one night, a local man was riding his bike home when he saw something ahead. In the dim glow of his headlight, a figure crouched in the middle of the road. It wore a white dress with long black hair covering its face. With only a pair of glowing eyes visible, the ghostly figure tried its best to creep out the man. It even slowly began to crawl towards the man. The video cut off suddenly. No one knows what happened next, but I hope he got himself out safely. Creature by the road. A woman on her way home saw a sight that looked unreal. Just beside the road, a creature stood, watching her. With a canine face, it almost tricked the woman to get closer, but she soon realized that it was not what she thought it to be. On the other hand, the animal-like creature kept standing on the roadside. It eventually made the woman change her route and turn back. However, she informed the authority, who immediately confirmed the search for the weird critter. And let's just hope they catch it soon. Terrifying encounter. While exploring a remote part of the woods, a hiker noticed a cave-like opening in the ground. Curious, he zoomed in with his camera, but saw nothing unusual. Still, something felt off. Then, out of nowhere, two humanoid figures appeared. They had long, wild hair and held sticks in their hands. Their movements were very scary. The hiker stepped back. He didn't wait to see what they wanted, and running out of there was the only option. The Goat Man. A farmer was checking his goats when he noticed a strange thing. Among them stood a baby goat, looking normal at first. But as he got closer, he got scared. Its face wasn't right. The features were disturbingly human-like, shaped in a way no animal should be. It just stood there, staring, making the farmer uneasy. You might say it was just a birth defect. But standing there, looking into its unnatural face, the farmer couldn't shake the feeling that this goat was something else entirely. And whatever it was, he didn't want it staying on his farm for long. Woman with hooves. One night, in a quiet neighborhood, a security camera captured an unsettling sight. Under the dim glow of a street lamp, a woman in a white dress moved slowly, her long black hair covering her face. Something wasn't right. Even a nearby dog stood frozen, its fur raised, sensing what humans could not. Well, the figure remained there for quite a while, and then the video ended, and no one knows what happened next. But whoever reviewed the footage felt the same unease. After it went viral, no one in the neighborhood walked those streets alone. Turkey morning.
Turkeys are flocking birds. They normally sort of follow a leader. And I think the leader bird just started going in a circle and everybody else followed.
One morning near Boston, a local captured a bizarre sight on his way to work. A group of 25 turkeys moving in a perfect circle around a lifeless cat lying in the road. The bizarre footage quickly spread. Some called it a ritual, others a seance, as the turkeys bobbed their heads in rhythm. Experts, however, had a simpler answer. Turkeys are flocking birds, likely following one leader who started the motion. Still, the unusual behavior left many unsettled, proving once again that nature can be as strange as it is fascinating. Silent follower. A local rancher filmed an unsettling sight. A small humanoid figure standing quietly behind a wild stag. The dimly lit footage showed the stag moving cautiously, unaware of what crept behind it. The humanoid's slow, deliberate steps made it blend weirdly with the landscape. This land has long been a place of strange occurrences of cattle mutilations, with clean, mysterious lights hovering above the fields. Some believe the humanoid is linked to UFO activity, while others suspect it could be a byproduct of a science experiment. Watcher in trees. In the Alaskan wilderness, a hunter riding his ATV captured something unnerving on camera. A gray humanoid figure standing among the trees. His dog reacted first, growling uneasily. When the hunter turned to the left, he froze in shock. The figure had unnaturally long limbs and smooth skin, and stood perfectly still. He didn't wait to learn more. He pressed the gas and drove away fast over the bumpy ground. Alaska has its share of strange sightings, but this footage was different.
Holy crap!
The subscriber pick. Some things caught on camera don't define logic. This was one of them. A CCTV camera captured a strange sight of two dogs chasing a man down a quiet road. Seems usual, right? But then, something felt off. Right in front of the camera, the man vanished. 1 second he was there, the next moment he was gone, as if he had never existed. Even the dog stopped, looking around in confusion. Maybe the man came from another timeline and then went back from where it came from.